You want to know? You want to know who doesn't know anything? System surfers.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pull that out now.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm pulling them. Excuse me while I whip this out.
Now this next video, I made this in the first 2 years we have done this, and I was getting so pissed off at the whole Section 8 bullshit and the welfare stuff. Is I actually went and I averaged out. I researched virtually every state and found out how much they were getting in WIC welfare, Section 8, what have you. And a lot of these women were making it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Dropping a child every other year
Mm-hmm.
and living a lifestyle of an upper middle class individual.
Yeah. And here's where this ties into the media propaganda. You're not allowed to criticize this. If you do, you're racist. You're not allowed to say anything about this. If you do, you're misogynist. You're not allowed to criticize any of this. It's just, they have to have the government pay for everything. Well, it's just another form of slavery because you're not making your money. You're tied to them. They own you. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything without them.
Yep.
You're putting yourself in slavery by falling into this trap. Now, let's watch System Surfers because actually,
I want to give a shout out to my kids' real daddies. Thank you, government, for putting me on. I mean, you was the definition of a real father. Because when your kids is hungry, they have food stamps. Yeah, we shop at Walmart. Yeah, we shop at Publix. We shop at Winn-Dixie. When your kids need shelter, yes, you have housing. And you also have Section 8 for a lot of us. And when our kids fall, get hurt, or sick, they
wait, I have to pause it right there. She's talking about housing. I worked in personal injury. A lot of our clientele was from the lower west side of Detroit, where most of the lower west side of Detroit looks like this here.
Yes.
And I would do their financials as the paralegal who prepares all of the paperwork and the briefs and the rebuttals and all of that stuff for the court cases. And they have to give me their financial details. Not some, the majority of them were living in $2,000 to $3,000 a month apartments and paying $58 a month.
Yep.
And welfare picks up the rest. $58 a month to live in a $2,000 or $3,000 3-bedroom apartment that you probably can't afford. The normal person today probably can't afford, can't come anywhere near that.
They have Medicaid. Yes, we go to the ER, we go to the walk-in clinic, and we also can make a doctor's appointment. I get their prescriptions with no hesitation. Now, if that's not the definition of a real father, making sure your kids have food, shelter, and health care, I don't know what it is. So like I said, thank you, government, for being my kid's daddy, and thank you for putting me on.
It's been a while. Bad Popp here. We're going back to math class.
Here we go. Pop's chucking the math. Hang on, kids. We're getting like a twofer here. You've got Popp in the room watching Popp tell you how it is.
Don't worry if you didn't do well in school. I'm not giving out any grades. But get your notepad and be ready to be pissed off.
Yeah, you can be really pissed off.
Yeah. Let me ask you people. Are you mad? Well, you're going to be. This one is for all those welfare queens out there, and you know who you are. Grab your board and let's ride this in. System surfers. Yeah. No, I'm not rewarding slewers. I'm sorry. Now, this was brought to my attention by a female soldier I served with a while back, who raised 2 children without using the system, and she is very upset that women abuse this. And there's no laws to stop them. Because this is bullshit. With that being said, let us begin.
Smashing the fourth wall.
This is going to be good. I wore the red shirt for this because I'm an a-hole. Please feel free to check the numbers for yourself. We got welfare, we got WIC, we got Section 8. They get Medicare, Medicaid, or now it's Obamacare, whatever it is.
Thanks, Obama.
They get energy subsidies, daycare, and education in various forms, either through state law or federal law. I can't even say yeah to that. I can't.
Hey, Pop,
Yeah.
I think it's time for an update of this video now that you've got the whiteboards up again.
Yeah.
And furthermore, these programs are almost all exclusive to females or the holders of the slot C. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the first letter of an acronym of can't understand normal thinking. These benefits have a dollar amount attached to them. And from what I've been able to find out, Idaho is being the lowest with only $11,150. In Hawaii, it is $60,590. Google it yourself. 20 years in the service, and these seed pump meat bags get to make more money than me for just pumping out kids.
Twice as
This whole system is in place because there is no accountability. There are no checks and balances in place. Get out of here. It is run by women for women. And if you get caught abusing this system, there's absolutely no punishment for this whatsoever on the books.
Yep.
And it's not like they have to pay the money back. It's a free ride. So far, what I've been able to detect through my research and FOIA requests, there is 151 different laws on the books that specifically benefit women. Someone's bitching about being oppressed? Wait, that would be the bitches. And I have yet to find one. Zero for dudes. Now, I've talked to some people and they're like,
well, men don't need any help.
well, neither should the women because feminism is one and it's 50-50 and you're just as good as I am. You smell that? It smells like some bullshit. This whole thing's pretty busy, but it's really not that complicated. And what this is mathematical breakdown of the dollar amounts the holder of the uterus gets for simply having kids. Kiss my ass. And in New York, the benefit package that these women receive, they'd have to work a $21 an hour job to basically equal that. Driving through New York, there's not a lot of jobs there anymore that offer $21 an hour because of their liberal, crazy tax laws. That's a different subject. As you can see here, I have age, births, income. I have the benefit package they're allowed to receive within the state of New York. On top of all this, they get child support. All right, so I'm going to dissect this spreadsheet, which you can find on redonkulous.com in the description. By law, they're allowed to make roughly
Wait. Is the spreadsheet still there?
I believe it is.
Okay.
$26,000, and they still would qualify for all of this, valued right around $38,000. Now, if you'll see here, I know federal law basically mandates welfare end at 5 years. But state law, New York State has the safety net laws, which will continue on for an additional 2, possibly 3. And then we go down here to the Section 8, housing, and other benefits that they get. I start this off at age 20. This can actually kick off at like 18, but maybe they want to party for a couple of years, get smoked and poked. Gonorrhea! No. But they can start off having the kids and they space them out evenly. So that means they're guaranteed child support till roughly right around 60. If you're on the system and you're getting public aid, you should stop having kids because you can't afford the ones you got. Stupid. And there should be laws on the books that state, have kids while you're on public aid, you'll no longer be on public aid. I use $1,200 for child support because for whatever reason, blue collar dudes who make between $40,000 and $80,000 a year wind up paying this. If he wasn't slapping you around or beating a kid or doing like horrible things and you just wanted to leave, it's my personal opinion that you shouldn't get child support. If you don't like it, you can suck my dick. Edit that out. But once you get to 31, what's 32? They'll work their job, whatever they're doing, making right around $25,000 a year. And I've talked to several business owners that have had employees come in and say,
Hey, I don't want to go over too many hours because I don't want it to mess with my benefit package.
you must die. People will say,
Well, if they're getting their $14,000, and then there's the checks and balances in here, and it will be hot.
Listen, the system is run by women for women. It's radically understaffed. And a lot of times they'll get this put in place before they get the child support and they don't report it.
Now, one of the things that I had to do when I worked both at a corporate law firm and the personal injury law firms was go into the federal building in Detroit. And all of the employees there are angry black females. All of them. I mean, all of them.
Well, first of all, I mean, that's pretty much the norm.
Blow it out your ass. And even if they do get caught, there's no punishment. There are some reported cases of women hiding the bodies of children that they neglected. How do we know that all these children even exist? Say they start off at 20 and this goes all the way to their 60. If she's working, making $25K a year, doing whatever, working part-time, hey, it's all her money because, you know, she's almost paying virtually no taxes on this because of the child income credit. Oh, poor me, I'm a single mother. But I'm a single mother by choice. I want some sympathy. No. She's walking out the door with $1 million in her pocket, receiving $848,000 in federal aid, state aid, and on the side, as a bonus, getting another $500,000 in child support. So she's not being taxed, but yet we're shelling out almost $1 million for the aid of this craziness going on here. Yeah, no. This is too brutal to even say anything about. Then when she drops off the system at 60, she falls right into Social Security, which, by the way, she worked all these years to pay for and took all of these benefits on top of that. Are you mad? Are you mad? The average dude makes $1.2 million, and he's busting his hump. This woman, working part-time, spreading her legs, makes 2 times as much as you and gets full medical, dental, daycare, food, her shelter paid for. And what do you get? You're getting bent over for some surprise butt sex. Not even a reach around. Now, how long do you think that's going to last before we run out of money? Why are we not talking about this? And we're talking about abortion and religion and other things that have already been ruled on by the Supreme Court. Guess what? Discussion is over on those. Is there anything else? Oh my God. Are you mad? Are we all mad here? Because I'm a little pissed. I personally think, you know, that you should get your 5 years. And that is it. Okay, if you can't get your life put back together in 5 years, guess what? There needs to be some accountability. I think there needs to be some starvation and some ass kicking going on. Because guess what? If there's no negative repercussions, why change your behavior? Yeah, it's all fun and games until he tools you up a few times. So I'm expecting a lot of yeahs from the dudes and a lot of no's from the system surfers out there. But please, send your email to my ass.
Okay, that's the end of the content portion of this content.
But when you look at the board, though, they get like they have probably multiple baby daddies. They're pulling in, you know, $500,000 in child support over a 40-year period. And then they make $1 million working part-time. And then we're paying almost $1 million just to keep them in the lap of luxury.
Yeah, and we pay another $1 million to keep the button-pushing monkey on staff.
Correct.
It's happening. Fortunately, we can pay those in like Miller Lights.
So let us know in the comments if you like the old whiteboard stuff. Because
I can tell you right now, I read the comments on those all day long, Popp. That's why I keep goading you to make more of the damn things.
I usually do 2 or 3 a month. I started that like 4 months ago.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because the comments are always, I wish Popp made more of these. I wish Popp made more of these. I'm serious. I saw a guy in the chat say, I'm rewinding for a second to the screen print of that image. I have a whole B-roll list of all of Popp's best remarks, noises, and weird incidents that I'm going to turn into a short. I need to do that.
New merch idea.
But here's the thing, is these women that are on welfare are having these kids. A lot of them are going to wind up in prison anyway, so it's not like a net benefit to the society that they're having these kids.
Correct.
All right. They're working part-time, so they don't mess with their benefits. They get to keep all that money. Then they get their benefits, And then they get child support on top of that, which basically back in the day, and I think it just changed, but they would take the child support out of my check after I paid taxes on that money and then hand it over to the ex. So that's like free money for her. I mean, what you mean? If you cannot look at that spreadsheet and not come to the conclusion of just epic fucking abuse, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Now, one of the other things that I saw when I worked at the personal injury firm is something that we haven't mentioned before. I would have remembered it, but I just learned about it in the last year and a half or so. When these fornication trophies turn 18, they pretty much automatically go on EBT themselves, and very few of them leave home for at least the first 7 or 8 years. So they've got welfare coming in. Mama's got welfare coming in. She's going to squeeze out one more. Now that household's raking in close to $85,000 a year for nothing.
And that's why you see all of these people drive around in Cadillacs.
Yes,
BMW.
that's exactly it. That's exactly why. Yep. And they got 70-inch wide screens and actual gold chains, and yeah, it's really frustrating. Here's where this ties into the whole Mockingbird CIA propaganda thing. Those people are told that those benefits belong to them, and the rest of the population is told that if we say anything about it, we're racists.
Yes.
It is a propaganda campaign, and it is designed. Now, remember, you're only talking about 7% of the population. The rest of the population has to suck up that cost and deal with the product of it, because a lot of those fornication trophies, like we said earlier, become dangerous.
Well, hang on. Now, let's just be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of white single mothers, especially when I was in New York State in red trash land, who abuse the fuck out of that system as well.
No, that's fine, but that number still doesn't come anywhere near this. This is a population that relies on this as their form of income.
Yeah.
For the most part, the other than that group of people segment of the population does not rely on that as their source of income. Does it exist? Of course it does. But as a whole, white females don't rely on that.
Well, they're starting to now. I mean, the listen.
You know why? Do you know why, Pop? Do you know why? I know why.
Propaganda.
Do you know what? No. Do you know why?
Why?
Men aren't marrying them anymore.
Good.
So they don't get the divorce trophy. So they have to go to welfare.
Half your shit, half of AYS.
So they're forced to go the darker path.
I guess.
You just get dark in here.
But the whole thing is this. All right. We as a nation are the richest, most prosperous nation that has ever existed before we started writing shit down. All right. In fact, we are so, or at least we used to be so rich, everyone wanted to come here.
Right? Yes.
And the standard of living here is, beyond anything that's ever existed. These welfare queens, I mean, they have BMWs, large screen TVs. They have the latest phones, computers, laptops, what have you. Whereas a working Joe doesn't have all that stuff because he's got to pay for it out of his own pocket. It is being abused. They are siphoning money out of our system, our tax dollars, hand over fist, and they've been getting away with it for decades. I would say that this whole welfare Section 8 thing really got going mid to late 70s, as soon as no-fault divorce became the norm across the entire country.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Popp for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.